What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As always, it is appreciated. So I'm sure you read the title, but today we are working on some 370Z headlights. So we've done a couple different headlights already, but so far we have not yet done a 370 headlight. So interested to see how this is going to work out, see how similar it is to the 350s or how different it is. So I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you might already own a 370, but if you're not and you are just subscribed to the channel, this is what a stock 370Z headlight looks like. So basically what we're going to be doing for this set is blacking out the housing, adding a demon eye and a halo. So nothing too crazy with these ones. It's nice when you're not having like 10 different things to put on a single headlight because sometimes it can get a little overcomplicated. But we're going to go ahead and get that taken care of and get these things all nice and done. Before you put it in the oven, make sure you take out all the screws, bulbs, all that stuff, or you are going to damage some stuff. So first headlight is already in the oven, preheat it to 275. Put the headlight in, do your best to make sure that it's not touching anywhere where it shouldn't be, and we found that about 6 to 7 minutes in the oven is the perfect time to leave it in. If you leave it in for like 2 or 5, it's just not quite enough. But now that the headlight's nice and heated, we are starting to separate it nice and easy.
Okay, where else am I missing?
Also, my wife was giving me a hard time about these gloves. They look a little funny, but they're only $8 on Amazon, and they are a lifesaver when doing stuff like this because you can actually get your hands in the areas that you need to while it's still hot and start pulling it apart, because oven mitts are just a little too thick to do what you need to, and doing it barehanded, sometimes you just have to wait till it cools down, and at that point then it's harder to separate. So spend a little money, get these on Amazon, $8. They will help. Link will be in the description in case you guys want it. Gloves for the win.
That made our life. Okay, the last set we did, we pulled the headlight apart in like an hour for each one?
Probably. I don't know if it was an hour for each. It took us a while actually last time.
This was like 15 minutes for one.
Yep.
And that was literally just, most of it was time sitting in the oven. So.
These sparkly gloves.
I'm just that good. As I keep burning myself.
So as these are cracked open, we went ahead and started spray painting these. So right now they have 2 thick coats of primer on them. We're gonna let this sit overnight. If you don't have a full night to let it sit, then at least try and wait like a full hour to let them cure. Because the last thing that you wanna get is fingerprints on anything. So the primer is gonna sit for the rest of the night. First thing tomorrow morning, we'll go ahead and spray some spray paint on them. Again, let them sit, fully dry, then we can actually start applying the halos, the LED strips, and the demon eyes. Good morning, guys. Currently day 2. Already started working on the headlights first thing this morning. So we have sprayed these with 2 coats of black so far. Went to the store, grabbed another can of paint, and have started putting on the 3rd coat. Now again, as you just saw, Jonathan's being very careful while moving that around just because you really don't want any fingerprints on these. They will stick and you will be able to see them through the lenses. So just try and avoid that. Try and put them in a good spot to begin with if possible. But just 3 good solid coats should be enough of the paint. Let this sit. Luckily with the 370 headlights, you don't have to worry too much about scratching off the paint when putting the headlight back together. There are some other headlights that you do have to worry about that a little more, but still, just let the paint cure, preferably for 30 minutes at the least, but up to like an hour to 2 hours. Just let this sit, dry, and then you can start the rest of the process. All the headlight housing is all black now and officially dried. You can see, touch it, no fingerprints. We also tinted the reflectors that were in there, so now that that's done, we can actually start putting them back together and applying the lights to the spots where they are needed. With the halos, they do have 2-way tape on the back side. This size of halo that we are using is a 80mm, but you probably can use a 90mm as well if you'd like. Just kind of depends on the look that you're going for. but just center it, put it up against the housing of the headlight, make sure it sticks in with the two-way tape. And it does have these little tabs. Just make sure that the little tabs are going on the inside part of where that goes.
So if you're gonna use an 80, the 80 is gonna sit on this lip right here of a 370Z. If you use a 90, it'll sit more in the central area.
So preference, but either way, I think this is gonna come out looking really well. All right, so this part isn't necessarily needed. You can just use the two-way tape on the backside of the halo if you want, but we usually do this just to make sure that the halo stays secure and doesn't go anywhere. So you just drill 2 very small holes next to the halo, and then you get some fishing line like this. Just run the fishing line through the halo, tie it over the halo, and tie it in the back, just again to make sure that the halo isn't going to move, it's not going to go anywhere, and you don't have to worry about it falling off and then re-crack open the headlights just to attach the halo. So always good to just do this extra step just to make sure that it's taken care of properly. First halo is in, reattach the bezel that it sits on, now doing the reflector. Then we just gotta continue with this little process and get the headlights all completed. Out of the different styles of Demon Eyes that you can get, this style seems to work the best. Now this works with the larger projectors and this projector size as well. As you can see that little line right there, you are able to cut it right there to make it a little smaller to fit into the smaller housing. So that's what we're gonna do. Gonna go ahead and cut it on that line and then start putting it inside. So unlike the strips and everything else, these don't have two-way tape on them, but you just kind of force it in there lightly and then feed the wires out through this little top piece, then put the lens back on and screw that back in. And there you go, back in. Can't really see anything in there, but it lights up nice and bright when they're on. Then you just feed the wires through the top, run the wiring through the back, and you're all good with the Demon Eye. So a little bit of time has passed, but basically what we have been working on is getting the LED strips in. We have a hole put right there for the wires to go through. Now when the headlight is actually sitting properly, you won't really be able to see that. And then as always, drilled some very tiny holes on the other side of the strip to run some fishing line to make sure that this is secure as well. And then with the LED strip, just go ahead and place it in this little area here. It does have its own adhesive on the other side. Sadly with this corner, you just can't get it any closer than this, just because if you do, then you're risking snapping the LED strip and it breaking. So altogether, it looks really good so far. I just need to start putting everything back together, which is what Jonathan is doing to this headlight currently, and then we're pretty much all finished with this project. Now, always good to do is before you seal everything back up, just bring everything to the battery, just touch the positive to the positive, negative to the negative, test everything, make sure it works. The last thing you want to do is seal everything back up and then find out there's an issue after it's already too late.
I think that's weak.
So now that we have tested everything and everything does work, we went ahead and ran the sealant through the little crevice where the headlight goes inside. Again, the link for everything that I am using will be down in the description below, but make sure you get the proper type of sealant. It's the Morimoto brand sealant that you want to get. So after the heat's applied, the sealant is put in. Start by putting in the top and the sides, make sure that's all lined up, then push the whole lens forward just as much as you can until it kind of stops. Heat it again with the heat gun and then just continue to push, squeeze it together. It's always good if you have clamps, some vice grips, just because you can squeeze it together and then let it sit and dry properly so that it can stay sealed.
Want to say that again? No, I'm good.
That's it?
No.
What? Squeeze them cheeks?
What do you mean by that?
Squeeze them cheeks, boys and girls. Yes, Jonathan, I like zebra cakes. You like cream pies?
Shut the fuck up.
You like a good cream pie there, buddy?
Shut the fuck up.
Is that your favorite?
No.
No, you said you like the real cream pies, right?
I like fucking oatmeal cream pies.
Oh, almond cream pies, okay. It's a little sus there, bud.
Yeah. Just need to put the clamps on.
How you know you did a good job sealing it back up is if you can manage to get the clip pieces to clip back in, you know it's sealed like the best that it can be. If it doesn't seal or able to go back in the clips, it's okay. It's not necessarily needed, but it is just a bonus and a plus when you are able to get it to go in the clips. If not, and it doesn't sit exactly perfect, just make sure that it's at least sealed and closed as much as you can. Well, both headlights are currently sealed up and ready to go. We are just waiting for the owner of the 370 to come back with his car so we can get these hooked up, and then I can show you what they look like on working. Alright, so been a couple hours since I last picked up the camera. I think last you guys saw we just tested them, everything was put together, but he brought his 370, he left for a bit, but we got everything buttoned up, and now I can go ahead and show you guys what everything looks like. So, all in all, really happy with how it came out. The demon eyes are working great, the halos work great, the eyelids work great. When he came just to see how they looked without everything being on, he was really happy. So I'm hoping that when he sees how everything looks actually on and working, he's gonna be even happier. Also, just to show how good the gapping and everything is on these headlights, so really pleased with how well they sealed back together. All in all, not too many issues besides the 2 screws that gave us a hard time just to get the demon eyes in. Other than that, pretty easy job. What would you rate the experience of 370Z headlights out of 10?
What do you mean, like difficulty?
Difficulty.
3, 4.
There you go, 3 or 4 difficulty. So it's been a couple days since the last clip that I filmed. I forgot to wrap it up the other day, but all in all, pretty good experience. He was really happy with how they came out. We were happy with how they came out. So it's always nice when you complete it, you're happy with the outcome, but more importantly, the person that you're doing it for is happy with them. You know, just makes the whole experience that much better. So I know as of late there has been a bit more headlight content. Hopefully you guys don't mind too much. It's not going to be a constant thing, but it will be a far few and in between thing that might be coming up on the channel. Really just depends if I'm doing a set of headlights that I haven't done before. I want to put out a video for people that may require it so that they can know how to do it themselves. But if you are new to the channel and you clicked on it because of the headlight video, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button. I am trying to put out content as often as I possibly can, but I have a bunch of stuff still coming for the channel. I'm really excited to show you guys. So again, please hit the subscribe button, drop a like, drop a comment, all that good stuff. As always, I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.